to the jungle, this my home, black. Let's go live, it's showtime, create my own chat. Watch Blaze cook, lift a boom, microphone rap. My Facebook. Ice.
This est maître, this est W
Squad.
Go live, go live, go live, go live. Pull the phones out, 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 go live, pull the phones out, go live, pull the phones out, go live,
Go live.
Ooh, welcome to the jungle, this my home, black. Let's go live, it's showtime, create my own chat. Watch Blaze cook, lift a boom, microphone rap. My Facebook, and I don't mean my iPhone app. Mean, when the lion roars, I'm mad at y'all. I press record, I wave red like a matador. The camera on, from the mobile shares to buy a car. Well, I am on, yeah, follow Blaze the lion bar.
P.O. Dope about to jump through your screen. Time to go live, go hard for the team. Got my views up like Drizzy, I mean. Vibe with a G, all eyes on me. Got something to say, but first let me pray. Cause when I grab my phone, I get in my zone. Keep it 100 from the time I log on. Put down the Draco, put down the lane. We lit over here, we sit over here. Mumble rappers can't even sit over here. Pull out the I-7 or the S8. FB or IG, yeah, they both straight. Just hit that go live 5 seconds in your Gucci. Ghetto skills, boy, it's time to make a movie. Selma the sequel, I'm about to leave the people. Lights, camera, action, what's your reaction? Go live on them.
What we gon' do?
Go live on them.
What you gon' do?
Go live on them.
What we gon' do?
Go live on them. Do it for the book.
Do it for the buzz.
Let's do it for the gram.
Let's do it for the gram.
Let's do it for the snap.
Let's do it for the sound.
Squad.
Jamming on stage with my phone in my hand. Spit my whole verse when I'm live on the gram. And I'm too hype, I got a flow you cannot bite. Been in the dark for so long, I just need the light. People get conflicted when I'm snapping like a pig. I told you later, don't like it, watch him kiss it. Hissy fit, you probably think I'm pulling up the way I'm riding with my clip. But we just sliding through the city like what stage we hit it next. Bullets rooted up, bodies drop, murder scene. Really sad to say, but he was only 17. Now his mind gone, traumatized, got what he seen. Family try to help, but it's too late to intervene. Society's in the cave, but we can't believe the things that happen all in these streets. No degree, cause we in this deep. Watch the stop, cause I can't seem to hold my peace.
Go live on them.
What we gon' do?
Go live on them.
What you gon' do?
Go live on them.
What we gon' do?
Go live on them. Do it for the book.
Do it for the buzz.
Let's do it for the gram.
Let's do it for the gram.
Let's do it for the snap.
Let's do it for the sound. Squad.
Wanna march in the street, go live on them. Wanna vibe to the beat, go live on them. Wanna preach, wanna teach, go live on them. Wanna spit that heat, go live on them. I go live when I'm about to drop jewels. Wanna go live, then here's a couple rules. Don't film fights, don't entertain fools. Some of y'all go live trying to give clues. Flex for the gram, show the feds every move. And you wonder why your face all on the news? Let's get it in though, with all of your friends though. In 5, 4, 3, 2, lights.
Camera. Action. Yo, Blaze. Go live. I raise lions roar. I raise lions roar. Hell on earth, my quiet storm. Right on Zion's door. With my phone out in a girl's car. When I am bored, they judge me like on World Star. But I am more. Talk off my phone, buzzing for my people. Damn, I walk off like Joe Buttons into Migos. We more than a sequel. Got photos to preview. Switch to selfie mode so the whole world can see me, you.
Go live, go live, go live, go live, go live on them.
What we gon' do?
Go live on them.
What you gon' do?
Go live on them.
What we gon' do?
Go live on them. Do it for the book.
Do it for the buzz.
Let's do it for the gram.
Let's do it for the gram.
Let's do it for the snap.
Let's do it for the sound.
Squad.
Yo, 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 welcome everybody to another episode of Chop It Up with Pop. Welcome, y'all. All right. Thank everybody so much for tuning in. We are in episode number 9. Wow. 9 episodes. 9 episodes. I mean, that's not something light. 9 episodes. Do you know what that represents? That represents a vision that turned into a victory. That represents words that became life. That represents plans that became action. Because if you've been following me for a while, you know that this was just a concept. This was just something that, I said that I wanted to endeavor to do, to also coincide with my public speaking. And 9 episodes later, here we are. It manifested. This show manifested. And here we are, live once again on Facebook Live, our live online talk show. It's called Chop It Up with Pop, and I am your host, Lamont Popp Nanton, CEO of Ice Squad Entertainment, also hip-hop recording artist Popp the Ripper, and 1/3 of the hip-hop group Ice Squad. Yeah. And also public speaker and mentor. Alright, so we are going to get into it. Thank you for everybody for tuning in today. Feel free to go ahead and like this video, share this video with your friends and family on your page so they can join in with us today on today's show of Chop It Up with Pop. Alright. Man, I've had one of the craziest, longest, most exciting weekends. And wow, I'm still a little bit drained, but it's a good thing because I'm drained due to the fact that I've been out with my team just making some major moves. We had a big weekend, a big day Saturday. We had 3 events back to back, and let me just say that they were phenomenal. We did a show in the daytime at a festival in Fort Lauderdale called the Sistrum Festival. Then from there, we were part of a competition called Artists Ready to Tour competition, and after that we went to the Oski Awards, which is an award show here in Miami, Florida, for up-and-coming musicians and artists, etc. And the good news is that the festival was lit, killed it. It was super dope. And let me share something else with you guys. Hold on one second. Sorry. And at the well, let me just say it like this, and I'm just trying to say it in order. All right, so in the second show at the competition, we came in first place. Yep, first place. Ice Squad came in first place. All right, we came in first place. We got the grand prize. It was awesome. We won $1,000, and we won a few extra things too. That's getting ready to come up. Some big things, man. We're gonna be having some meetings coming up. Some other big things that's popping, so I keep y'all posted on that. And then, and the third event, the Oski Awards. Guess what? We walked away with the award for the Best Rap Group Award. At the 2018 Oski Awards, we got the trophy, got the award for Best Rap Group. See, it says their Best Rap Group, Ice Squad, 2018 Oski Awards. So, yep, see that? We did it, man. It was a big night. It was a big night for us, and we still on a high right now. We still like floating right now. On cloud nine, just the way that things just all came together that weekend. I know I probably don't seem as excited now, but it's only because I was so excited yesterday, and my body is just drained and tired right now. So I actually just got up not too long ago, so I'm trying to get my rest in, but at the same time, I can't forget about you guys. I can't forget about the audience. Here at Chop It Up with Popp. But big things popping, man. Big things popping. And that's kind of what it actually really ties into our subject today, on today's show. As you can see for episode 9, the title is How to Turn Your Vision into Victory. All right? How to turn your vision into victory. Okay, so that's what we're gonna talk about today. Let me get all straight here. All right, all right. So we're gonna talk about that today. How to turn your vision into victory. And I entitled it that because everybody wants to win, right? Nobody sets out to do anything that they plan on failing, right? Everybody wants to win in whatever it is that they're setting out to do in life. Everybody wants to reach their goals, reach their dreams, reach their aspirations. So, obviously, if that's the goal, there must be a way to get there, and that's what we're going to talk about. Now, in no way, shape, or form, let me just give a disclaimer out there. In no way, shape, or form am I saying that I can guarantee you anything. I cannot guarantee you anything. Only God can guarantee you something. Okay? But I cannot guarantee you anything. But what I can do is I can give you some of the tools needed in order to put yourself in a better position to be able to reach your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations. Because one thing that I know that is true is that there are certain principles that allow all of us to be able to obtain success in what we're doing. Okay? There's certain things that you have to do. There's certain things you don't have to do. And there's certain things that if you do it, it's going to give you just an extra edge. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here to give you that extra edge, to better your chances, Okay? So at the end of today's show, you should have a pretty decent idea of how to turn your vision into victory. Okay? All right, cool, bet. So all right, so we're gonna get it popping. Thank you all my my guests that's chiming in already. All right, I see you. Welcome, Kathy. Welcome, Natasha, Monica. Thank you, I see you. All right, yep, big things. God is good, purposeful. God timing, He is intentional. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so let's get it going. All right, so let's start off talking about the oh, actually, I apologize. Before I get into the conversation here, first of all, I want to make sure that everybody knows that today's show is brought to you by Ice Squad Entertainment. This is Ice Squad Entertainment. This is my company. It's an independent record label. We are stationed in Miami, Florida, and we are in the music industry, entertainment industry, here to present to the world entertainment that exemplifies 3 core principles: integrity, character, and excellence. Okay? Integrity, character, and excellence. Ice Squad is here to change the game, literally, from the inside out. If you want more information about Ice Squad Entertainment, you can go to the website, www.icesquadent.com. If you are a social media follower, you can go on IG or Twitter at @icesquadent1, at @icesquadent1, and you can follow the label and follow us and see everything that we have going on. You can find everything from our tour date schedule, our artist information, our merchandising, anything that you need, contact information, music videos, music, you name it, it's all there. So go to icesquadent.com and you'll be able to get all the info you need about Ice Squad Entertainment. All right, so thank you. All right, so and if you're interested in being a sponsor on this show, to have your business sponsored on this show, all right, you can email us at chopitupwithpopp@gmail.com. Make sure you spell Pop with 2 P's, not 1, and get back to you. All right, and we can promote your business on the show as well. Okay, very minimal cost. Trust me, very minimal cost. It's like, a trip to your local fast food store. Okay, very low prices. All right, so I said fast food store. I mean fast food restaurant. I'm sorry. All right, I'm trying to wake up. Okay, so let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. All right, so let's start off with the vision. Let's start off with the vision, because we're trying to turn a vision into victory. But before you can have a victory, you have to have a vision. Okay, what does it mean to have a vision? Okay, so let's start with that. To have a vision, it means that you taking the word vision, coming from the word visual, meaning that you're able to see something. Okay, you're able to see something in the future. Okay, you're able to see ahead of you. You have in your mind's eye, you're able to see a concept, you're able to see an idea, you're able to see you doing something that you're not currently doing at this present time. Okay, that means you have a vision. Okay, and it also means you have foresight. Okay, I mean you have an idea of what you want to do. That's having a vision. Now that can be anything. Okay, that category can be vast. I mean, you can have a vision for your family, where you like to see your family go. You can have a vision for your career. You can have a vision health wise. A lot of people, they see themselves at a certain weight, having themselves look a certain way. So you can have that type of vision. You can have a vision for your business. You may already have a business, but you got a vision for it to go to another level or to be doing something else. You may have a vision as as somebody that's like a philanthropist that wants to bring change to the world, bring change in society, help the less fortunate in some type of way, do some type of nonprofit organization. So, you have a vision. If you are a a teacher, or and you have students, you have a vision for your students. If you're a parent, you have a vision as a parent, how you want to raise your children. You understand? So everything should have a vision. Everybody should have a vision, and nobody's exempt from that. Everyone should have a vision. If you're going to be in this life, you should always have a vision, because if you don't have a vision, not having a vision, it represents stagnation. It represents lack of growth. Okay? Because as long as you have a vision, that means that you're constantly growing. Okay? Because there's always something that you're trying to achieve, or you're trying to goal you're trying to move towards. Okay? So only you know what your vision is. For you, some people have many visions. I'll take myself for example. Okay, I can go back as far as a vision of doing music. I wanted to be, I wanted to be a rapper. When I was young, that was my vision. In when I was in high school, actually not even high school, like middle school, really, I wanted to be, an entertainer, wanted to be an artist. And, that vision came from, watching other artists. It came from watching music videos, listening to the radio, just seeing artists do their thing, and on stage, and, making records and things like that. So, I gravitated towards that, because that's what I liked. So I felt like I could do that too. So back then I just had a vision to be a rapper. And so, around the age of 15, I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. And it was not just, and see, here's the difference. There's a difference between just a whim, just a thought, and just a casual idea. That's not what I'm talking about. That's something that you may think about it today, but a week from now you ain't even thinking about it no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something that is deep down in your heart, in your soul, that you feel you have to do. That's a vision, and that's the way I felt at the age of 15. So I went and I actually told my parents. That's what I wanted to do. I said, hey, I know what I want to do with my life. I said, I want to be a rapper. And that didn't go over too well, I can tell you that. That's not something, especially back then, when hip-hop wasn't even close to as big as it is now. That's not something that a parent wanted to hear, because back in my days, back when I was younger like that, my parents, all they wanted to hear about was, I want to go to college, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be, something that, for that time seemed to be all the prominent positions in life, I guess. I wanted to be a judge or something like that. That's what parents wanted to hear back then. They probably still want to hear that now, but there's so many other things you could do in life now that I'm pretty sure not a lot of parents hear the traditional things anymore of what their kids want to be. But yeah, I told my parents I wanted to be a rapper. So that was pretty much taken as a joke. They was like, that's not a real job. That's a 1 in a million thing. It's not gonna last. That's just a fad right now. That rap stuff is gonna fade away. It's not real music, etc., etc., etc. So I heard all of that. Okay, but I had a vision. I saw myself doing it. I'm like, hey, if this cat on TV, this LL Cool J guy, or this Rakim, or this KRS-One dude could be on here doing this, why can't I? Why can't I? So that's how I saw it. So basically, from that point on, I didn't have any other plan. That's because that's all I wanted to see myself doing. So even though I got tons of discouragement, so to speak, from the parents, I began to write my own raps. I began to write my own raps and rap them to myself. And, you know, I didn't really let nobody hear what I was doing because I didn't know if it was even good or not. But I liked it. You know what I mean? So I used to just write raps, and I used to listen to other rappers on the radio and tapes and stuff, and just memorize. I used to memorize their raps, and so I can, you know, practice being a rapper. So I started memorizing all these different rap songs, and and trying to write my own. So fast forward, from that point on, what I did is there was a radio show, and this time I was in Jacksonville, Florida. At this time, temporarily I was in Jacksonville, Florida, because my parents had split up, and my mom was in Jacksonville, and my father was still in Miami. But I had moved with my mom for a while in Jacksonville, so there was a radio show that used to come on. Wow, I can't believe I still remember this. But there was a radio show that used to come on when I was in high school. It was called it was 92.7 The Beat, and the radio personality on there, his name was Doc Brown. Doc Brown, I remember that, Doc Brown. I don't know if he's still on the radio now or what, but his name was Doc Brown, and he had a show that used to come on. I think it was like every night or every other night or something like that, or maybe once a week. I don't remember, but I know it was Doc Brown, and he had a show called Battle of the Rappers. Okay, he had a show called Battle of the Rappers, and people would call into the show on the air, and they would just rap. No music, no beat, not like how they do it now, where, you know, they just throw in a beat, you start rapping. No, it was just, hey, get on there and show us what you got, acapella. You know what I'm saying? And then what happens is that somebody would call in and battle the other person that just called in. Okay. So one day, I was listening to the show continuously, but never called in. And I said, you know what? I've been writing all these raps. I've been listening, learning how to rap and do all this stuff. You know, I was like, how will I know if I'm really any good if I don't let nobody hear me? So I said one day, you know what? I'm going to call in. So it's funny. I was actually cleaning the kitchen at the time. My mom had me cleaning the kitchen. And I was listening to the radio while I was in the kitchen, and I heard Chop It Over Pop. I heard Battle of the Rappers come on, and so I say, man, I'm calling. Boop, 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 I'm calling. And so I tried and tried. Busy, man, but I was relentless. I kept calling. So I finally got the phone ring. And then they picked up, and it was like, you know, Battle of the Rappers, what's going on? You ready to rap? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to rap. And already a few people had already done went on the rap. I said, yeah, I'm ready. And they was like, all right, what's your rap name? And I was like, ooh, uh-oh. I didn't think about that part. I don't got a rap name. And I was like, I can't go in there talking about, you know, my rap name is Lamont. That's whack. It don't work that way. You got to have a rap name. So because I was caught off guard with the question, and I didn't want to sound like, you know, I wasn't prepared. I just looked down as I was washing the dishes, and I was washing the dishes with a rag, right? So I told him, I said, my name is MC Dish Rag. Yep, I sure did. I said, my name is MC Dish Rag. Yep, MC Dish Rag right here, man. And it was like, all right, Dish Rag, you ready for Battle of the Rappers? I was like, yeah, I'm ready. So I went ahead and I spit and I did my thing. Long story short, I won that night. I see y'all cracking up at my old rap name. Yeah, I won that night. Battle of the Rappers, and then so I basically moved to the next round where I was basically the one that everybody had to beat. But the problem is now I done doggone coined myself as MC Dish Rag, and you can't go back and like change it like that quick. So, you know, it pretty much, I branded myself and stuck with me, MC Dish Rag. And from that point on, basically, I was undefeated. Every single night I was killing them. Everybody that tried to call in and battle me could not beat me. And it basically eventually became a show about me. Battle of the Rappers became about beating MC Dish Rag. And I got so popular from that show that People around the school was talking about MC Dishrag, but nobody knew who MC Dishrag was. But people was talking about MC Dishrag on Battle of the Rappers, how he killed it and stuff. And I don't know how everybody found out, but I think I had told one of my friends on the bus or something like that. I was like, man, you know that MC Dishrag, that's me, right? And it was like, stop lying, that's not you. And I spit something for him, and then it was like, oh snap, that is you. And then from there, the rumor just got all around school, so then everybody knew I was MC Dishrag. So from that point on, everybody in school started calling me Dishrag. Hey, what's up, Dishrag? Even the principal of the school was calling me Dishrag. It was crazy. The principal was like, hey, what's up, Dishrag? Like, wow, everybody know about this Dishrag. And then people was looking forward to me calling in for Battle of the Rap. Like, you gonna call in tonight? You gonna call tonight? You think you gonna win again? You think, it was like, dang. And then guess what? The radio station even came out to the school. The radio station came out to the school for a pep rally and had me perform. In front of the whole school. That's how big it had got. I had got really popular because of that show. And that just helped build my confidence, that, hey, this is for me. This is something that I really can do. You know what I mean? And my parents, they never knew how popular I was getting. They never knew, because they never really took it seriously when I told them that's what I wanted to be. But they didn't realize, like, the whole city was, like, knowing who I was. You dig? So, and then I had joined with a buddy of mine back then too. He wanted to form a rap group now. Since I had like a little fan base or whatever. His name was Eric. I remember him clearly. His name was Eric. He was from New York, right? He wasn't even from Florida. He was from New York. And in New York, man, they was big on rapping, man. And so we formed a group. And check this. We formed a group called the Lost Boys. I tell you, no lie. And this was before the actual Lost Boys group came out. With Mr. Cheeks and Freaky Todd and all them. This was before they came out. So my group actually was the original Lost Boys. But, we never blew up like that. So, that group came out and was known as the Lost Boys. But I was still MC Dishrag. And I went on to just be that, and that was my tag all through high school while I was in Jacksonville. And then I came back to Miami eventually for I think it was for my 10th grade. I came back for my 10th grade year and in Miami, and then I finished high school back in Miami. But I came back, and when people was asking me what my name was, I used to have like a hoodie I used to wear, and it said Dishrag on it. Cause I started marketing that name, you know what I'm saying, in Jacksonville. So I came back and I still was like having all the same swag with Dishrag, and then guess what? People started calling me Dishrag. And I was still MC Dishrag. So I went into the schoolyards, battling cats at lunch as MC Dishrag, and it stuck with me. So I was MC Dishrag for a long time, And then from there, when I came to Miami, it was a little, when I came back to Miami, it's like everybody wanted to dance all of a sudden. Like everybody wanted to be a dancer. You know what I mean? Like nobody wasn't really rapping like that. Everybody wanted to be a dancer. So I too eventually learned how to dance, and I joined some dance groups, and I actually became real good at that too. I became one of the best out in here, man, as far as dancing. I saw it. I loved it, what they was doing. I said, you know what? I can do that. And I studied them, and I watched their moves. I even had a buddy that lived across the street from me, who was in one of the biggest groups in Miami, known as Splack Pack. He was a part of a group called Splack Pack. Anybody from Miami, if you say the name Splack Pack, they know exactly who you're talking about. And especially if they, 80s babies. I had a good dude across the street. He taught me like how to dance and do all those moves, and I basically perfected it, and and started learning them. And then I adopted. I got tired of the Dishrag thing, so I adopted the name. Actually, no. What happened is I formed my own group. I eventually formed my own group. Okay, I was in a bunch of other groups, but I formed my own group, and I formed a group called Flex. Okay, called Flex. Now don't laugh. Flex stand for Freaky Love Express. Ridiculous, I know. But that was our name. And so at that point I became Popp. And then my other dude was Smooth. And we had another dude named Bam and another dude named Stick. And I became Popp. So, you know, it had like a double meaning, so to speak. Like Popp, because I used to be Pop, 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 popping. And then also too, it's like I was always the oldest cat. I was always the oldest. People was like shocked that I was so much older than everybody, but I looked the youngest. Still to this day, that's the case. Like I look younger than everybody, but that I'm rolling with. But I'm always seem to be the oldest person, but I just look the youngest. So all that, you know, it stuck with me. Now here I am. I'm Popp. You know, now I've been, you know, years and years and years old. You know, decades later, Popp just stuck with me, and Dish Rag died. You know what I'm saying? So and then, you know, if you know my history, you know I went on to become Popp the Ripper, and because I went, obviously, you know, I went back into rapping. Became Popp the Ripper, put out several records under various record labels, and you know, did that thing. Now I'm a label owner of myself. Fast forward, I could go through the whole history, but that'll take the whole show. But anyway, I'm a label owner now, Ice Squad Entertainment, and I'm still Popp the Ripper, and I'm a part of the group Ice Squad. Still doing the music thing, still doing what my parents told me would never last, would never work. Now I'm still living my dream, and that vision that I had when I was 15 years old, I'm still experiencing it to this day. And I've done things and seen so many things in the music industry, all because I believed in the vision. I believed in the vision that I had, that I saw myself doing. Okay, that's what vision is. Vision is just knowing without a shadow of a doubt who you are and what you want to do. Okay? And the biggest part about having a vision is that it's your vision. It belongs to you. That means when you have a vision, when you have a real vision, nobody can tell you who you are, because you already know. You already know, because that's how real the vision is to you. A true vision, when you know it's a true vision, when it feels like it's already happening. When you can already feel the emotion of it. You can already almost experience it before you experience it. That's when you know it's a true vision. Like you already see yourself there. You know what I mean? As that. So nobody can deter you. Nobody can change your mind. Nobody can tell you, you know, that's not who you are. No, nobody, because it's your vision. That's when you know you got a vision. Okay? And nobody can tell you that this is not you know, this is not real, what you're talking about, because it's a vision. It's your vision. So hopefully everybody has a vision. Hopefully everybody has a vision. And just so you know, I see you in there in the chat there, Monica, cracking up at my old name, but don't you be calling me that. Alright? Don't be calling me no Dish Rag. That Dish Rag is dead and gone. Alright? So don't be trying to fire up. Alright? Because I know you. Alright, so yeah, so that was my vision, you know what I'm saying? Ice Squad Entertainment, you know, became a vision to create a record company that is going to be able to be a positive influence in the music industry, because there's so much negativity out there. So much negativity, left, right, up, down, everywhere. Everybody is like fascinated with negativity. Everybody's fascinated with debauchery. Everybody's fascinated with wicked things. Everybody's fascinated with drugs, murder, sex, greed. Everybody's fascinated with profanity and setting horrible examples for young people, living disgusting, vile lives in front of the young people, and being a horrible example. That is a fascination that is in the music industry right now. Like nobody cares about what they represent anymore. Nobody cares about the young people that will be influenced by what they're doing. Nobody cares about what they're teaching the next generation through their art. And I just said, you know what? Somebody got to do something about that. Somebody got to be willing to stand up and say, you know what? I'm going to be different. You know, I'm going to do it differently. I'm not going to follow the crowd just for acceptance. I'm not going to follow the crowd just for fame. You know, I'm going to do what's right, and I'm going to do it the right way. You understand? Because it doesn't have to be. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. And somehow, some way, in the entertainment industry, trends became law. Everybody feels, not I'm gonna say everybody, but a big majority of the music industry feels like trends are law. Like if no matter what the trend is, you have to do it or you won't make it. You have to follow what everybody else is doing, whether it's wrong or right. You have to do it, or you won't be able to make it. You won't fit in. Psh, please. Who says who? It's so many unwritten rules, unwritten laws, you know, in certain industries where people feel like it have to be done that way or it won't work at all. And I said no. And so Ice Squad Entertainment, which was formerly Ice Squad Records, was born. And you already know, if you've been following me, you already know that the ICE stands for integrity, character, and excellence. And it was named that because those are principles that was taught to me by my mentor, Dr. E.J. McKenzie. And I applied it to my life, and I applied it to everything that I'm associated with, that my hands touch, that I do. So it became a brand: integrity, character, and excellence. And you know what? Because I'm in the music industry, I recognize that that's exactly what the music industry is missing. So that's what I brought to the music industry, so that can be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. Now, granted, I was a part of the problem at one point because my eyes were not open to what 100% to what I was doing and what I could be doing to make a difference. But once I got the revelation, then I shifted my direction, and here we are, Ice Squad. So many years, since 2004. The brand Ice Squad started in 2004. No. I'm sorry. Let me back up. I'm sorry. No. Not 2004. 2004 is when I first started my first attempt to run a record label. My mind was still kind of out there at that time. 2008 is when Ice Squad, the brand, was established. 2008. So here we are now in 2018. Ice Squad Entertainment. We here. All right. So that vision turned into victory. Now we spent a lot of time on vision, so now we understand clearly what a vision is, and you gotta have a vision. So you understand that you gotta have a vision. Hopefully you can identify what a vision is, and I hope you have one. If anybody that is listening right now, if you have a vision, if you feel like shouting it out, go ahead and shout it out. What your vision is. You know what I mean? Because that's a big part of seeing your vision come to life, is by making it known what that vision is. So don't be afraid to share it, unless it's some top secret thing, whatever. But if you just want to put it out there in the atmosphere, feel free to go ahead and put it in the group, so we can support you, on that. We can say, we can see what your vision is. You can see what mine's is, clearly. So yeah, man. And if anybody got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, okay? Don't hesitate to ask, because I want to help somebody today. All right? I want to help somebody today, because everybody should have a vision. Everybody. Nobody should be walking around visionless. Okay? All right. So we're going to just take a quick break here for a little bit of promo, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about actually taking that vision, how to take that vision and start working that vision. All right? So let's do that. Let's just take a quick break. All right, so today's show, I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't see that. Okay, well, Alright, so I'm sorry. So basically, this is the new single for Ice Squad group. The Ice Squad group Go Live new single. Okay, and there's actually a music video out right now. The music video has dropped. Okay, so you can find the new single Go Live anywhere on all digital platforms, wherever you get your music, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, SoundCloud, wherever you find your music, to Tidal, wherever, you can go there and you can download the new single from Ice Squad called Go Live. It's only $1. You know what I mean? Go ahead and download it, and you know, let it bump in your ride, wherever, in your headphones. It's real lit, real crunk, real get the party started type joint. I think you guys will love it. If you haven't heard it yet, it's the song that I play every time the show starts in the beginning. That's the record from Ice Squad called Go Live. But now there's a music video out for Go Live that you can actually see now on YouTube. So when you get a chance, go to YouTube and just search Ice Squad Go Live, and you'll see the music video. All right, and you share it with a friend. I know you'll love it. We we definitely got loose in that video. All right, it's real lit. So make sure y'all check that out. And if you'd like to get some Go Live merch, you can go to the website icesquadent.com and just click on Ice Gear, because we got our clothing line too, called Ice Gear, and you can get some Go Live Ice Gear. Okay, so we got everything you need, you know, to follow this movement, to be a part of this movement, and it all starts at icesquadent.com. All right, so make sure y'all go check that out. And the next time you going live on your social media on your cell phone, go ahead and have this playing in the background. You feel me? Play that Go Live in the background. Let them know you're getting ready to go live on them. All right, cool. All right, so that is Go Live. Alrighty. Oops, hold on a second, guys. Alright. So that was Go Live. Alright, make sure you check it out. Alright, so now let's talk about bringing the vision to life. Okay, so you got a vision, you know what it is, you want to do, right? Now the first question that comes to mind when people think about their vision is, how in the world am I going to be able to do this? Because the first thing we do when we have a vision is we look at our circumstances. We look at our current state. And then we look at that state, and then majority of the time we judge our ability to reach that goal or to achieve that vision based on where we are at that moment, who we are, and what we have. But I'm here to tell you that who you are and what you have really has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with it. Because a vision is not something generally that is easy to accomplish. It's not something that you could just jump up and do. A real vision is something that's going to take work. It's going to take effort. It's going to take a lot of different elements to come together to make it work. You know what I mean? Those are the real visions. You know what I'm saying? If you got a vision to just bake a cake, I mean, that don't really take much effort. Just go get the ingredients from the store and read the back of the box and make a cake. You know what I mean? So I'm not talking about something that's that simple. I'm talking about something that you know without a shadow of a doubt that this is beyond you in your current state. Okay? So I want to encourage you first and foremost not to first look at yourself and your circumstances, okay? Because one thing I know is that true visions come from God, okay? True visions come divinely into your mind, your heart, and your spirit from our Heavenly Father, because He created you. And He created you for a purpose. And because He created you for a purpose, He established that purpose. So really, the dreams that you have are not really your dreams. They're really His dreams for you. But He's giving you His thoughts for you. He's showing you how He sees you and the type of potential He knows you have. You understand? So God is showing you this, that listen, this is how I see you, this is what you're able to do. So when you get these thoughts, it's really just you getting a glimpse of who God says you really are. Okay? And what you're actually really able to do. So stop looking at yourself. All right? What you need to start doing is you need to first agree with God. Okay? The first thing I'm going to tell you, you need to agree with God. That's where it starts. Okay? You need to write that down. Agree with God. In order, the first step for your vision to come to pass is that you need to agree with God, because it is coming from, since it's coming from God, that means that He has the ability and He knows exactly what He has the ability to help make it come to pass, and He knows exactly what you need to do, what needs to be done in order for that to happen. Okay? So if you don't agree with what God says about you, then how in the world can He help you? How can He help you? That's like me coming to you and saying, hey man, I see you losing all that weight. If you overweight, I see you losing that weight. I see you being a bodybuilder. Okay? And I want you here, I want to take you to this gym, give you this gym membership. I want to take you through this regiment, this workout program and everything, so you can become this bodybuilder and you can lose all this weight and stuff like that. Now, I can say that's what I see for you. That's what I know you can do. But if you don't agree with me, you be like, nah, man, please, that ain't me. I don't never want to do that. I want to do that. And I'm not going to no gym. I'm not finna do none of that. We're not in agreement. So that if we're not in agreement, and then means you're not going to do anything I say concerning that, and you're not going to be that bodybuilder. You're still going to be the same person you are right now, the overweight non-bodybuilder, because we're not in agreement. I can help make it happen for you, but you don't even agree with me that it's possible. So it can't happen. You understand? So that's why a lot of times when people say, how do they say it? Like, basically, okay, God is in control, and if God wanted to happen, it'd happen. No, that's not always the case, because we're not robots. We have free will. God is never going to force us to do anything outside of our will. He will partner with us to help us reach the potential that He knows we have, but He will not force us to get there. Okay? So if you don't agree with God, then you will not be able to see the manifestation of what everything God has for you. You have to agree with Him first before you can actually get there. Okay? So I wanted to establish that. We first have to agree with God. All right? So how you see yourself what makes all the difference. If you doubt yourself, if you constantly speak negative, saying that you'll never be able to do this and this ain't gonna happen, blah blah, and you start making 55 million excuses, you're absolutely right. It won't happen. Okay, you may have heard people say sometimes, if you think you can do it, you're right. If you think you can't do it, you're right. Okay? Even the Bible says, as a man thinks, so is the man. That means that however you see yourself is what's going to manifest in your life. Negative or positive. Okay? So, once we agree with God, now we have to start, basically, I would say start thanking God. Because if you agree with God, that means you know that it's gonna happen. It's a vision, and you know it's you know this is what you're supposed to be doing. And if you truly believe that it's gonna happen, why you can't thank God in advance? If you're gonna wait to see it happen and then thank God, then you never really have faith. So if you're a person of faith and you believe God is gonna do what He says He's gonna do, then you need to start thanking Him in advance. As soon as you get the vision, you need to start thanking God. Okay, because you know it's already done. Alright, so boom. So agree with God. Then thank God. Now, consult with God. That's the next step. Consult with God. Okay? Have you ever heard of a consultant in business? If you're trying to do something in business, you're trying to grow in a certain area, you can go to what is called a consultant. You're trying to learn different things about a specific industry, you go to a consultant, right? So it works the same way about in your life. If you want to learn and grow about things in your life, then you go to the consultant who knows you better than anybody. You go to God, right? You go to God and you consult with God. You say, okay, all right, God, you gave me this vision. I agree with you. I believe you can. I believe it can happen. I believe you will be there to help this come to pass. So now how do I do it? Okay. Now I'm not saying that God is the only one you go to. That's not what I'm saying. So if you think that's what I'm saying, fix your mind. Stop looking for an argument. All right. I'm not no religious nut. You know, I'm a person that is very balanced and understands the dynamic between being a human being and also being connected to God. All right, in this life, in this world, in this earth. Okay. All right. I'm not that heavily minded that I don't know how to apply practical things. So what I'm saying is that's where it starts. You consult with God, because you consult with God, He may lead you to an actual consultant person. He made his God's consultation may be where you get your direction to know where to go to be able to find the right consultant if you need a consultant. You understand? Because you're going to need a plan. Okay? The Bible says to write your vision down, make it plain. That means you need a plan. You have to be able to, if you're going to build a house, you got to plan it out. You know what I mean? You got to, before the builders start building, they need to look at the blueprint, right, and see what's going on. So God has the blueprint for your life. So you consult with God and you find out what the next step is. You can do this through prayer, meditation, and just talking to God. Trust me, He'll show you. He'll show you, man. He'll show you. And more than likely, two things are going to happen. One is going to be really simple baby steps that He's going to lead you to. And then two, He's going to probably have you do something that you don't want to do. I'm just telling you, this is how it works. You're going to do something that you don't want to do. Okay? Because a lot of times when we have visions and dreams, all we see is the good stuff. All we see is the end result. All we see is the mountaintop. All we see is the place of prominence, the place of notoriety or fortune and fame or whatever it is. Whatever you're trying to achieve, you see, it's already done and you're celebrating and you're happy. A lot of times that's all we see. What we tend to see, what we tend not to want to see, is the process before that, in between that. But that's exactly what God sees first. First He sees the end result too, but the first thing He's going to deal with you about, after you get the vision, the first thing He's going to deal with you about after that is the process. Because there is a process. And the first thing that He's going to start processing you in is your character. Because the end result is going to be there waiting for you. But if you're not properly prepared mentally, if you're not properly prepared spiritually and emotionally for that place, then it's going to destroy you. It's going to be a punishment, not a blessing. Because if you were to just get what you want just like that, but you're not mentally ready for it, then it's only a matter of time before it will fall and crumble. So the way that God does it with us is He prepares us for it. He prepares us for the promise. Before He gives us a promise, He prepares us for it. Why? Because He knows what's waiting for us on the other end. And there's a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of situations that you're going to have to deal with as a part of that vision that you don't even know. that right now in your current state, emotionally, you can't handle. If you was to have to deal with it right now, you would lose your mind. Okay? Just like in the music industry, everybody want to be an artist. Everybody want to be on stage. Everybody want to have the money, the cars, the fame, and all. That's all these. A lot of these young kids. That's the only part that they think about. That's what they see that, and that's what they want to. That's why they want it so bad, because they want that. But then when you start showing them the work that it takes to get there, when you start showing them that they have to stay up all day, all night. You know, they have to sit there and learn the business. They have to read, understand. They have to be patient. They have to, rehearse. They have to be diligent. They have to understand marketing. They have to understand promotion. They have to understand contracts. They got to understand studio stuff. It's so much stuff that goes along with it that they don't think about. Also, they get so excited over the superficial things, but the actual things that keeps it running, they don't think about. And then when they're faced with it, that's the point where they usually may give up and quit, because they were not prepared for that part of it. All they was just prepared for the party, but they wasn't prepared for the problems. They wasn't prepared for the pressure. You understand? So what happens is that point they may lose hope in the dream, in the vision, because they were not prepared. This is why the way God does it is the wisest way. God prepares you mentally and emotionally and spiritually and all that through your natural life outside of the vision, so that you can be ready for the vision. So if you going into business, right? You got a vision for a business, right? But you got an issue with people. You're not a people person. You get upset easily. You got a bad temper. You struggle with forgiving people. If you was to just jump into that business arena, still in that mental state, still with that type of disposition, nobody will want to do business with you. And then the vision won't come to pass, because you're not ready. You're not ready to deal with all these people that you're going to have to deal with in this business that's going to push your buttons. That's going to test you. That's going to try you. That's going to shortchange you, or try to give you a bad deal. You know what I'm saying? Or double cross you, or, not do what they're supposed to do, or it's, people letting you down. You see, that's the thing. You have to be prepared for that. You understand? There's a lot of disappointments that come with visions. So God got to have you go through some disappointments, so you know how to deal with disappointments. Because guess what? When you get to the vision, to the end result, and some disappointing things happen, if you don't know how to deal with disappointments, you're gonna give up. You're gonna shut your doors. You're gonna close it down. All that time and effort you put into building the vision gonna be for nothing, because you was not emotionally stable to handle it. So you see the wisdom of God? This is why it takes a long time sometimes to get to where you want to be, because God is processing you. And process is not easy. It's painful, but it's necessary. You come out that much stronger. You understand? You come out that much stronger. You know how many people done tried to do what I do, done tried to be a part of of this movement that I have, and join forces, etc., or work alongside me, and they see all the outside stuff that they like, from the outside looking in, and then they come in and they really see what happens behind the scenes, all the work that it takes, all the patience that it takes, the aggravation, all of the different type of personalities that they got to deal with, the late nights, long hours, then and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know what, maybe this ain't for me. Maybe this ain't for me. I thought we was just gonna be doing shows and making music and having fun. They don't say that, but that's actually what it is. I didn't realize I actually had to make sacrifices and not be able to continue to live the regular life I was living. Didn't know that. So this is what I'm saying. you have to be processed and prepared for the vision that you are that God wants to connect you to. All right. So, yeah. So now you got to start planning. Now, here's the thing. There's no I in team. No man, one man is an island. You've heard all of that before. Teamwork makes the dream work. Listen, I am a huge advocate of that. Okay, I definitely agree with all of those sayings because my pastor at my church, the church I attend, Potential Church, Pastor Troy, he always says that the number one is too small of a number for greatness. So that means that you can't do life by yourself. You can't do life by yourself. You cannot think that you're going to just run this race all by yourself alone. You understand? You can't. It takes a team. It takes a team even to raise a child. You understand? So to build a business which is just like a child, it takes other people. To build anything, it takes other people. If you really are trying to establish something, you got to have the right people around you to help that happens. You want to do something, you want to film, you want to be on behind the camera. Who gonna run the camera? You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to run the camera if you're gonna be on camera. You understand? That's just how life works. So guess what? Part of your process is going to be how to be a part of a team. God may go ahead and put you to be a part of some other team that don't got nothing to do with what your vision, just so that you can understand what it means to be a part of a team. Because guess what? You're going to need a team. So you got to know how to interact and how to deal with people on a team level. So, you got to put the right people around you. You got to learn who's who and know that you cannot do this by yourself. Now, unfortunately, that probably is one of the hardest parts of the process for a lot of people because dealing with people is painful. I'm going to just tell you, dealing with people is painful because people will disappoint you. I'm just telling you straight up, people will disappoint you. People will say they're going to be somewhere and not be there. People going to say they're going to do something and not do it. They gonna swear they down with you, and they ain't nowhere to be found. That is just a part of the process. You know how many times that has happened to me? In my whole career, team-wise, I probably worked with over 40 people. In my whole career. And you know how many of those people are still in place and here today? I can count less than a handful. And majority of them are new faces, not even the old faces. So if I was the type of person that let everything stop me right there when people disappoint me, I would never be where I am now. Because I wouldn't know how to handle it. I wouldn't know how to keep going and how to persevere and how to press through the obstacles of dealing with people. And that's another reason why the vision has to be real to you, because people are going to disappoint you. Will everybody disappoint you? No. But the majority of people will. And you have to know that. Going in, you have to know that. And you have to already prepare your heart and mind for that. So when it happens, you understand that it's just a part of the process. For your journey, for your vision, for your greatness to manifest. Okay? So you gotta put the right people around you. Okay? You gotta put the right people around you. And the best people to put around you are the people that share your views. People that share your vision, share your ideals. Because if you don't have this, if you around people that don't agree with where you stand, it's only a matter of time before you bump heads. So you gotta find like-minded people to partner with. Okay? Because you cannot walk together if you're not in agreement. That comes from scripture. Two people cannot walk together if they don't agree. Y'all ain't gonna be going the same direction. All right, so you got to find people that share your views. All right, then also too, you have to get educated in your field. You have to get educated in your field. You have to learn how to study. And I'm not just talking about studying books. Okay, you have to study your industry. You have to study the past. You have to study the present. Because if you don't study the past and you don't study the present, then you will not be able to function in the future. Okay, you have to be able to observe the people that have come before you, who have already done what it is that you're attempting to do. Okay, and you have to know how to filter the good from the bad, the meat from the bones. Okay, because just because something happened a long time ago does not mean it's not relevant today. Does not mean it can't still be useful today. So when you look at the past, you don't want to look at it from a perspective of, oh, that's old, they don't do that no more, that don't matter, it's insignificant. Absolutely not. The people who founded your industry, the people who started whatever it is you're doing, they had some knowledge that you need. Okay, because there's nothing new under the sun. There are some things that will still be needed even now. So you study the past. Okay, you learn from those who came before you. You implement some of those things as necessary, and some of them you may not to. But you never disregard the past. Then you look at the people that's in the present, because these are your immediate competitors. And yes, if it's anything dealing with business, it's a competition. There are competitors, because that's how commerce works. Everybody selling the same product ain't gonna get the same results. So it's a competition. Okay? Now that's only from a business aspect. If it's not business, it's not a competition. So if it's not something dealing with business, then it doesn't matter about who else is doing what. But in business, it does matter who's doing what, because there's a certain thing called market share. Okay? And there's only so much of the market available in any particular industry that you can get. And there's always people at the top of that industry who have the majority of the market share. Those are the people you have to watch and observe the most, because that's your biggest competition. And then you have other people who have smaller parts of the market share. Okay, you got to look at it as like a pie. Okay, you know, certain big dogs will have a certain part of the market share, and then other people will have a smaller part of the market share. But there's only a certain part of the market share available. There's only one pie, and you got to figure out where you fit in that pie, where your slice at, because you can't just expect to get the whole pie. In business, you can't do that, because it's already people doing what you do. You understand? I'll give you a practical example. Walmart has a huge, probably one of the biggest parts of the market share when it comes to retail for food. You know, in the grocery store arena. You know what I mean? And then you got some other people that, you know, got another big chunk, you know, of it too. Maybe like your I don't know, what's another big grocery? Publix, you know, Publix. And then under Publix, you may have Winn-Dixie. They got a smaller part. And then you got your smaller shops, your mom and pops, and, you know, your specialty stores and things like that, like Whole Foods and things like that. So you got to understand, if you're getting into that industry, you're getting into that arena, you got to see what part of the market share you fit in, because you ain't just finna walk in the door and compete with Walmart. Okay, that ain't gonna happen. Walmart already done paid their dues. Started with a small part of the market share and grew into the huge part. And you got to do the same. You're no different. That applies to you too. So you got to understand what part of the market share you are able to get a piece of, and you got to capitalize and basically dominate that part of the market share. And then you got to find out who else is jockeying for that part of the market share. who else is aiming for that part of the market share, so you can know who is your immediate competition. And it's not in a I would say it's not in a like a degrading way or like a arrogant way, or you're trying to literally beat people. No, you're just trying to figure out how you can be successful in that market, because in order to be successful, you have to be able to draw more of the people to you than your competitors. That's how you survive. If not, then your competitors will wipe you out. That's just business. That's nothing personal. That's just how business works. And you can like and support the competitors. That's fine, because everybody trying to eat. But I'm talking about survival in business. You have to know your market. You have to know who has the market shares and know where you fit. Okay? And the best thing you could ever do in business is find a piece of the market that's untapped. It's not easy to do, because most markets are already oversaturated. There's so many people doing the same thing. But if you can find a niche, if you can find a niche that's unique, if you can find a niche that's overlooked, if you can find a niche that's untapped, and then you begin to focus on that niche and you become the best in that niche, man, trust me, just that niche alone, you can create your own pie in a sense, where you have the biggest part of that pie, because nobody's really trying to get a piece of that pie. You get what I'm saying? That's just wise business acumen. You know what I mean? Acumen. So you gotta know your market so you can see where you fit. Now, if you want to just go with the flow and just be like, you know, business A up the street, you can try to do that, because even people who just duplicate still get a piece. They just may not get a big piece or a lot, but they can get something, because sometimes people just will come to you just out of convenience, because you just there. You know, not that you necessarily better than the person up the street, but you just happen to be in the vicinity of where they was at, so they went to you. So you can try that angle too. You know, some people feel like that's more guaranteed, or you know, that's less riskier. So hey, if you don't want to be a person that takes big risk, I guess that's a route you can go too. That ain't for me. You know, I don't really want to just go with the flow, but I'm not knocking anybody that choose that as a, you know, as part of their business plan. You know, all right. So once you know your market, you have to, and you study the people that came before you. You study the people that are presently doing what you're doing. What you have to do is you have to think about the future. You have to see where everybody in the industry is at and where they're not, including you. You got to see what's missing. What's missing in this arena? What's missing in this arena? If it's childcare, what's missing in the childcare arena? If it's retail, what's missing in the retail arena? If it's food and service, what's missing in the food and service arena? You know, if it's entertainment, what's missing in the entertainment arena? Whatever it is. Okay, I'm giving you guys some gold nuggets here now. I'm trying to tell you, if you want to come out on top, this is what you do, and you see what's missing. Okay, and you provide that need. You become the change. You provide that need. I remember my dad told me a long time ago when I was a very young man. He was like, when we were talking about business and doing business and being in business, he said, when you in business, the first thing you need to do before you go in business is figure out where there is a need. Figure out where there is a need. Once you figure out where there is a need, now you know you got a market. You got people that want what you got or need what you got because they need it. When somebody needs something, they looking for it. Okay? They looking for it because they need it. I'm thirsty. I'm looking for something to drink. I need something to drink, right? So I'm going to go where there's something to drink. So you got to look for a need. So study your industry, see what's missing. This is how you prepare for the future. See what's missing, and you provide that need. You provide that need. Okay, you provide that need. Now, I'm not against education. I'm not against, traditional education, because there's a lot that you can get from traditional education that will give you an edge in certain arenas. Like, ain't no way you can go be a doctor without going to medical school. It's just not gonna happen. You got to get the education. So there are, certain avenues where you do need to go and get the formal education as well. But you definitely want to be able to study visually your market and analyze, the industry inside and out that you want to be a part of, and go ahead and get the education and get the knowledge that you need, so that you can be the best at it and you can really prosper in it. Okay. After that, you get that. Now you want to put your business plan together, and you want to see how you want to do your thing. Okay. And you start putting it together, and I want to have this in place, this in place, this in place, this in place, that in place, so that I can do this, this, and this. And then from here, here, and here, I'll be able to do this, this, and this. And then I can take that and then do this, this, and this. So you got to start putting your business plan together. Now, there is a formal way to put business plans together. There's non-traditional ways to put business plan together. That's totally up to you. You know what I mean? It depends on what you're aiming for, what your goals is, and what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? But you need to have a plan. You got to have a plan. Okay? So you start putting your plan together. And then once you put your plan together, you start putting timelines together. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you about timelines. Timelines ain't never edged in stone. Okay? You always got to be prepared for an audible. You got to be prepared for, a monkey wrench or something to maybe take you on a slightly different course. You know what I mean? You got to be prepared for that. And know how to adjust, okay, if that happens, and just start adjusting your timeline here. Most timelines are going to be like scales. Sometimes you got to scale it up, sometimes you got to scale it back, just depending on where you at that time, and then throughout that process of you going through your business plan and you going through your timeline, things unexpectedly may happen, and you may have to add another element that you didn't plan for into the timeline, so now it extends the timeline further than you initially set it out to be. So you have to learn how to be quick and prepared for those adjustments. Okay? And then as you execute, you got to constantly be willing to learn. Next step is humility. You got to be humble. You got to stay humble. I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you the next Bill Gates. I don't care if you the next Michael Jackson. I don't care. You got to stay humble. You got to stay humble. And there's so many reasons why you should stay humble. I'm going to tell you the most important reason why you should stay humble is because if you have to realize that it's not you that came up with this. It's God that gave it to you. So if it's God that gave it to you, then God can take it away. And if it's God that gave it to you, then that means you need God's help. And God, in the Word of God, the Holy Bible, it clearly lets us know that God hates pride. He hates arrogance. It literally says in the Bible that He resists prideful people. He resists you, meaning that He backs up off you. He backs up off you, when you're prideful. But it also says in that same passage that He exalts the humble. So the person that's humble, that's the person he's looking to lift up and push forward to the forefront. Okay? The person that's humble, with a humble heart, humble spirit, knowing that you ain't all that on your own. Okay? That you just flesh and blood. Okay? And tomorrow it could be over for you. Okay? So you need to stay humble. And part of being humble is, one, humbling yourself before God and continuously being in a spirit of gratitude and thankfulness. Okay? No matter what level of success you achieve. Because it's nothing to God. What you got, it don't mean nothing to Him. $1 million, $1 trillion, $1 billion, so what? He don't see you no different because you got that. You may see yourself different, but God don't see you as no different because he don't care about what you got. So you got to continuously keep yourself humble before God. Okay, so he can continue to raise you up and not knock you off your pedestal, your self-made pedestal. Okay, then you got to be humble with people. You got to be humble with people because anything that you're trying to do, like I said in the earlier, is that you can't do it alone. So you got to make sure you strive to stay humble with people, the people that you work with and the people that you interact and you encounter in your arena. Nobody wants to work with an arrogant person. Nobody wants to work with a diva. I'm sure you hear that all the time in the entertainment industry about singers that's divas and nobody want to work with them. That applies to anything in life, in any arena, any business. You know, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you're not humble, nobody wants to be around you, period. It's almost like going to a restaurant where you know the food is good. You know they got the best ribs in town, but their customer service is horrible. They got bad attitudes in there. So guess what? You don't want to go to that restaurant simply because of that. Even though the food is good, it makes you not want to go. Okay? So it's the same thing. So you got to stay humble. You got to stay humble no matter how high you get. No matter how low you get, no matter how high you get, stay humble. Okay? Stay humble. People that don't stay humble, the reason they don't stay humble is because they start edging God out. They start edging God out. A lot of people say that's the acronym for ego, edging God out. That's why people don't stay humble, because the more you edge God out and make it about you, the less humble you are, or less humble you become. And you don't even realize it. It happens so subtly and slowly that you don't even realize it. You were so humble when you didn't have nothing. Now you've reached a certain level and you ain't humble no more. And what happens is that the people that know you, the people that's watching, the people that see you, they recognize it right away. But you don't see it because it's happening gradually, because you have allowed yourself to become an idol to yourself. You understand? So you got to be careful not to do that. All right? You can still be proud of your work. You can be, confident in what you do, but always still keep a spirit of humility, because that is what's going to allow more doors to be open for you too. Okay? I'm sure you've heard the saying, talent will get you in the door, but character will keep you there. Same concept. Okay? People are attracted to good character, so you want to make sure that that's what you maintain everywhere you go, with everyone that you deal with, especially in business, because there are other options of people that they could deal with. So they don't have to deal with your mess, if that's what you bring in, mess. Okay? All right? So you stay humble. And the last thing I'm going to touch on is you keep grinding. You keep grinding. How do you turn your vision into victory? You keep grinding. You don't stop. Okay? You don't stop. Remember in the beginning, when you first saw the vision, you knew without a shadow of a doubt that this is who you are, this is what you were meant to do. You don't lose that. You don't lose sight of that. Okay? And you keep grinding. I don't care what happens. You keep grinding. You don't stop. Because right when you stop could be the very moment where you was getting ready to experience your breakthrough. But you gave up for whatever reason, for whatever you saw, you let an obstacle hinder you and stop you. Okay? So don't be that person. Don't be that person that at the end of their life, the tail end of their life, they look back and they have all these coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Coulda, shoulda, wouldas. I shoulda did this. I shoulda kept going. I shouldn't have stopped doing this. I shoulda, not given up. Shoulda kept pushing. Okay? You don't have to be that person. Just don't give up. Don't give up. And key, if you allow God to process you properly, and you don't rush it, and you allow God to take you through the process, however long it takes, then it'll be a lot easier to keep going when you get to the next level, because you will already be prepared for the obstacles that's coming. through that because of the process you allow God to take you through. Okay? So keep grinding. Don't stop. You know what I mean? And be the best you that you can be. Be the best whatever job or position you are in. Be the best at that. You understand? Be the best. To me, it's an insult to God when we halfway do stuff. He gave us a gift. He gave us a talent. He gave us a vision. And we treat it like it don't mean nothing from the effort that we are giving. That's disrespectful to God for you to be treating it that way. He could have gave it to somebody else who was going to actually do something with it and take it seriously. So if you're going to do it, be the best at it and go hard. Don't worry about all the jealous people. Don't worry about all the people saying you're doing too much. Don't worry about all the people who got negative things to say. Just keep going. Because guess what? All those people going to want to be your friend in the end. Okay? So don't even worry about it. Just keep going. Just keep going and don't stop. Okay? So you got to keep grinding. Okay? And just continue, like, you know, appreciating the journey, man. Listen, success is not about the mountain. I'm going to say it again. Success is not about the mountain. The mountaintop is not, that's not what success is about. That's actually the fruit of success. You know where your success will be found? Your success will be found in the valley, in the desert. Okay? Because true success is being able to go further than the average person is willing to go. That's true success. Because you don't know if tomorrow you get hit by a bus. I'm just saying, you know, you something happened and you immobilized, you know what I'm saying? And now you down for the count. Or that may be the day, that may be your last day on earth. Your time may be up. So all you really got to experience was the journey, right? That happens to a lot of people. A lot of people don't make it to the mountain. Their life is ended before they get to the mountain. But guess what? If they didn't quit, if they didn't stop, they were still successful. They were successful in the journey. They were successful because they kept going. And they kept going when most people would have quit. They went further than the average person would be willing to go. And it's in that journey where you truly become successful. Because the average person is a quitter. The average person gives up. So if you can go beyond the average person, you, my friend, are a success. Okay? Because in order to be able to do that, you have to have a certain level of tenacity. You have a certain level of confidence. You have to have a certain level of drive and faith and determination to be able to keep pushing when everybody else would have gave up. So you are successful. And everything else that comes as a result of you not giving up is fruits of your success. Okay? Let me give you guys the right perspective here. The accolades, the money, the fame, the growth, whatever it is that comes with what you do, the amount of customers or the amount of students or whatever, the certificates, whatever, all that is fruits of your success. Because guess what? You became successful in the journey. A lot of people don't really understand what happened to Moses in the Bible. When Moses was leading the children of Israel out of captivity in Egypt to go to Canaan, which was the promised land of prosperity, where all, the land of milk and honey, and houses they didn't have to build, just land beyond land, all kind of wealth everywhere. It was way better than being a slave in captivity in Egypt. And Moses was the leader, right? And Moses led the people. God sent Moses to get the people out of Egypt, to tell Pharaoh to let them go so he can lead them to the promised land. He can lead them to Canaan, right? But if you study that part in the Bible and the life of Moses and that, journey with the children of Israel, what a lot of people don't know or don't realize or have not read further enough to find out is that Moses never made it in. Moses led the people there, but he himself never made it to the promised land. He saw it. He was able to see it from a distance, but he died before he could get there. And he didn't die like natural death. He died as a result of his disobedience to God, but I'm not really trying to touch on that part. But but the point that I'm making is that Moses was successful. Even though Moses himself did not go into the promised land, into Canaan, he was successful because this man did what most people would not be willing to do. Okay? He went to Pharaoh, who was seen as a god at that time. He was like king of the world. Okay? Would kill you. You can die in a heartbeat. All he got to do is snap his fingers and somebody will kill you and nobody can say nothing about it. Moses was not no person of prominence. He was not no leader, no governmental official or nothing. He wasn't even close to Pharaoh's level. He was just a man. Okay? He had a stuttering problem. He could not even speak clearly. Okay? He was already up in age. He lived in the desert. He had every reason to not go on that journey that God told him to go on and that vision that God gave him. He had every reason not to do it. Okay? But he agreed with God and he did it. And he allowed God to process him in that desert before he even went on that journey to get the people out of Egypt. While he was just alone in the desert, going through desert life, God processed him and prepared him. And he didn't even realize he was being processed. And then he went on the journey. Y'all know the story that he had to go back and forth to Pharaoh continuously. He never gave up. He continuously kept asking Pharaoh, come on, man, let the people go. Let the people go. Let the people go. Plagues came and everything. Pharaoh still said no. Pharaoh finally said yes. Moses took the people out. As soon as he left with the people, Pharaoh changed his mind again, went back to go get the people and bring them back. And the people had to run away from the Egyptians. And you know the story. They never caught the Israelites because God intervened and wiped out the Egyptians, and the children of Israel were able to keep going. But this was the part of Moses' journey. He was able to get through all of that. So he was successful, man. He was able to get all of those people. And we talking about these was like tribes and tribes and tribes and tribes and tribes and tribes and tribes of people, all led by him. And he had to establish leaders within those camps and lead all of these people. He had to deal with all of their frustration, all of their foolishness, all of their complaining, all of their envy, their jealousy, their disobedience, their rebellion. He had to deal with all of this, all they nagging, talking about they should have just stayed in Egypt. After he went through all that, talking about they were better off there as slaves instead of being free, where in the desert where he was trying to take them to get to the promised land, but they had to go through the backside of the desert. So they complaining, always whining about something. You know what I'm saying? He had to go through all of that, and he still was able to get the people to the borders of Canaan. And the people who were left went in, and they made it to the promised land just like Moses promised. Just like Moses said would happen. Just like God told him what happened. He did what he was supposed to do. He got the people there. Okay? So the vision came to pass. But he was successful before the people got to Canaan. Do you understand? He was successful before the people got to the promised land. Because he was able to go through that journey where most people would have said, forget y'all. Y'all don't appreciate nothing. I got y'all out of slavery, out of captivity from the Egyptians, and y'all gonna be trying me like this, not listening, disrespecting me, nagging and complaining about every little thing. And I'm trying to get y'all to a place of blessings. But he kept going. Well, most people would have walked away and turned their back on the people and on God and on the vision. They would have turned their back on everything and say, forget this mess. So Moses was successful. So I say all that to say this. Oh man, I just realized we went past time, but let me wrap up now. I say all that to say this. If you are willing to go on the journey, if you are willing to allow God to process you in the vision that he has given you, and you see it through to the end, then you will be successful, because only if you don't quit. The only way you cannot be successful is if you quit. Actually, that's the only reason. Wait, if you quit. If you quit, or if you just physically cannot do it anymore. I mean physically, like literally, you cannot do it anymore. Your body physically cannot do any, like if you in a coma, obviously can't do it, right? But I'm talking about as long as you're physically able and you don't quit, you will be successful. And you know what? Even if something does happen to where you can't physically do it anymore, guess what? If you were able to make it up to that point, if you were able to keep going up to that point where you still didn't quit, you, my friend, are a success and an inspiration to others. Okay? Because the only reason that you're not doing it is because you can't physically do it. And that'll be obvious. But other than that, if you were physically able, everyone knows that you would continue. So you are successful. Okay? You are successful. So, again, this episode was called How to Turn Your Vision into Victory. And if you are able to see it through and not faint, not give up, you will be victorious. And victory is only a representation of success. Okay? So I encourage you to go out there and work the vision, be successful, stay humble, and win. Alright? I'm going to look at some quick comments real quick. Alright. Yep. I see you. Shout out to you, Monica. Alright, yep. You're right, girl. Everything you're saying is truth. That's right. Yep. Alright, so that's my time. Again, I apologize for going past my time today, but I really hope that everyone was able to get something out of this. And, start where you are, man. Just start where you are. Don't worry about, what you don't have. Start where you are. Okay? Start where you are. Don't ask God to order your steps if you're not willing to walk. Okay? If you're not willing to move your feet, don't ask God to order your steps. But if you ask God to order your steps, then you need to get off your behind and start walking. Alright? Anyway, this has been your host, Lamont Popp Nanton. This has been another episode of Chop It Up with Popp. Alright? We'll see you guys next time on the second and fourth Sunday of every month from 8 p.m. to 9:30 right here on Facebook Live. Remember, you can always go to my YouTube channel for a recap on any of these shows. Okay, and you can just search Chop It Up with Popp, and you can watch any of the previous episodes. This episode will be on YouTube soon. Okay, or you can also go into the Chop It Up with Popp Facebook group, and you can watch them there as well. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight, and until next time, peace and love. Have a great evening.